Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Cassandra, aka the Daily Wealth Ninja, and I'm here today because, first of all, I almost didn't come on. I've been feeling extremely under the weather. I won't go into all the details, but I made this choice last year to help empower at least 10 people to become debt free. And one of those ways to do that was I swore that every Sunday was going to be my Wealth Sunday, where I was going to be showing you ways to create wealth. Oh, that was loud. Without without having to be a salesperson and all the like. So give me 1 second to mute what I just heard. I hope I can turn that off. Let's pause that. There we go. All right, so um, let me make sure that you can hear me. So thank you so much for joining me, Lisa and Arjun. Let me know if you can hear me down below while I check my phone as well. Perfect, I can hear myself. Awesome. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a couple of things. Last week I was implementing some strategies that I've been learning with this system, and some of them were very successful, some of them not so much. However, the catch was that the ones that were not successful were actually that way because I let my emotions get in the way. Now, as a Forex trader and any trader really, emotions can have both a positive and negative aspect on your trading. You might get so hyped up that you just freak out and do things you're not wanting to because you start to get greedy, or my browser just shut down. It looks like I'm still going on my Facebook, so if you can hear me, please let me know, because I may have to restart this. Okay, I see that Arjun's saying yes, but I'm not sure. Yes, Arjun, money sound, love it for sure. Unfortunately, not when it's right in your ear and super loud trying to do visuals. So let's back up. I don't know if it's still going, so I'm just going to assume we're going to keep going. All right, so let me bring back, there we go. So like I was saying, your emotions can really have a negative impact on what you're doing, whether it makes you too greedy, or you have FOMO, or fear of missing out. And so the trades that I did that were failing were because of that. So one of the trades that I chose last week, and I'll show you that one here in a second, I think it was AUDUSD. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Share screen. I'll come back to EuroCAD because this is what I'm actually going to be showing you today is the actual walkthrough. So AUDUSD. All right, so it was on the 15-minute chart. Let me scroll back to where it was. It was on, oh, that's monthly. So scroll back. All right, so right here. Now, this one, let me expand that. So as you can see, the time that I got in, so of course I forgot to put this on again. You can see that it was in a small uptrend, but it was going against a downtrend. Now, at the time that I did this, a lot of indications were saying that it was going to go up. So you can see that it was green here. You can see that the cross happened here. And so there were several signs that it was going to go up. Unfortunately, I was a little too, I think I was too greedy at this point, because I moved my stop loss up to here at some point, probably, I'm not quite sure when I did it. Oh, I think when it changed, the parabolic SAR changed. And as you can see, this one candle hit, right? Let me erase that. It went to here, but my original stop loss was here. So if I had just followed through with this system and kept going, I would have actually hit my take profit right here. So that's one of the reasons why you need to make sure that you learn how to trade these charts, you trust the system, and you test in demo. This was actually a demo account that I tested with, and one of the reasons to use demo is, one, to learn the new things that you're learning, make sure that you have your trading style down, and so that you're not just playing with your money. Because when you're learning something new and when you're phasing out the emotional side of trading, you don't really want to be playing with your money. That's not an investment. That's actually a huge risk, right? Hey, Chris, thank you so much for joining. So I wanted to share this with you because if you see people who are only showing profits, this is not something that most traders see. Most traders do not see all profits all the time. You are going to see trades that fail, including those who are using AIs to do their work for them. So yes, Arjun, you are correct. You should not move up your stop loss until you are in profit. That is totally correct. Which is another reason I was doing this in testing, because I thought I was following a process, but this was proof that I needed to wait a little longer. So you are correct. So this was a losing trade. I had a winning trade for another one. Let me get that on here because I thought this was the winning trade I was showing you. So one of my super winning trades, which I was really excited about, was Euro USD. And so after I show you this one, we're going to actually go through a walkthrough of what I've been using last week to get. I actually got several winning trades, and we'll feather out the emotion side. So coming back, let's see, Euro USD was on the 24th. Oh, so where is my, 22nd? Let's do this. Reset. There it is, winning trade. Okay. So glad I put that marker on there. So this was a sell or a short. And as you can see, the monthly? No, that's 30-minute. There was a 30-minute downtrend. We see from what's called the whole, the MTFA with bands, that it turned red here and red here. Let me go ahead and actually mark some of this for you. It turned red here. It turned red here. It's currently in a downtrend. We see that it changed parabolic SARs at this point. And with one of the indicators that one of my mentors who I've been learning from this mentorship program. Hey, Keisha, thank you so much. Oh, I hear you. You need EURUSD to go down. I will take a look. But actually, I think that's what I'm about to be looking at today. And I think it was on a buy. So let's just take a look. But as you can see, all the indications were down. We have it red here. We have a cross here on your MACD. So this was all indications that it was going down. And boom, in less than 15 minutes, you can see, let me get this information here. There we go. So from here to here, in about 1 hour, it went almost 30 pips. So what does that mean for you? If you had done where 1 pip was $10, if you had hit that 30 pips, you would have earned $300. Now, obviously, results are not typical. Past results do not guarantee nor dictate your future success. I'm just showing you what's possible, right? It depends on your level of risk. It depends on how much you put in towards your trades and all that. So let's go ahead and go through the process of what I did for both of these, minus the emotional factor. So I'm going to show you something, one of the tools that I use. So as you can see here, there was a call about 10 minutes ago for a particular trade. I'm not telling you to take this trade. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I'm simply sharing with you the tool that I use to help pinpoint some trades. Now, this tool that I'm using here has actually been wrong on several occasions, but it has helped me catch that trend at the same time because of the education that I'm using and that I'm utilizing with the system that includes this particular tool. So what I do is I actually take this and I copy it. Let me go ahead and put it into a note. Hey, Debbie, thank you so much for joining. So let me go ahead and put this into a note and show you what I do here. Make this smaller. Okay, so what I do is when I get a notification from this particular tool, I then go into my trading view and I go look for that particular trade. So this one was on USDCAD. So actually, Keisha, you said Euro USD, so I'll look at that one later. So USDCAD. And it was on the, oh, that was on the 5 minute. Let's look at the 15, because 5 minutes a little too choppy for me. All right, so those were an hour ago. They're probably not so great. So what I'll do, I'll just keep looking at this at the 5 minute, because it's still the same technically process on that. All right, so pause that. So USD CAD on the 5 minute. So I don't actually normally start on this particular chart that it calls. What I usually start with is on the monthly chart, because when you start from the big picture to the smaller picture, it really helps you determine how things are going to go. And once you know how the overall trend is, you can go from the smaller time frames up to see how things might be progressing. So monthly time frame, I will reset the view, and let me turn off some of these things here. So all you see are candles. And then I'll zoom in till about, till it looks like I can find a trend. Oh, that's the daily trends. Let me turn that off real quick so it's not confusing. Visibility, I just want days. Okay. All right, so right now this actually already has some stuff on here. So let me go ahead and tell you what's going on. So this right here is a parallel channel of your monthly. I know it's monthly because of the color that I chose. And you can see that this particular section is in an uptrend. If you look at the bigger view, we're actually in a sideways trend, or also known as consolidation. So that's what we're in right now overall. But if you look even longer, since 2011, we're still in an uptrend. So depending on how long you hold your trades, that's how you determine how long you want to be in. You can turn that sell buy panel off. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Art. Oh, this one right here? Oops. You'll have to show me or send me a link on that, because that would be cool, because I don't ever use that. So what I do is I kind of determine what I want from here. I zoom in. And I usually don't look at like the last year really, because most of the trades that I do are short term. I'm not necessarily a scalper per se, because the only time I can really scalp is Sunday or during the weeknights, because during the day I have a day job. Just right click and hide. All right, right click. Oh, how do you bring it back? I love learning things. Hey Wesley, thank you so much. Appreciate you joining. Thank you again for the compliment as well. So like I said, I go into about the last year, and then I create that parallel channel, which is this one right here. It can also be found on the trend line tools section. Maybe not. Maybe it's the other one. Hold on. Maybe it's this one. No. Parallel channel right there. And these stars are actually what add them up here in your little list. So I add the parallel channel because it gives you both the upper and lower trend lines for your trend channel. And then I add in the monthly, this is 4 hours, so let me fix that. I add in the monthly support and resistance lines. And I'll go through the rest later of those, so don't worry about that. So this line right here and this line right here are my major monthly support and resistance lines. Now, why do I have them there? They're there usually because they hit most of the wicks of your candles, but another way to do it is to actually turn on the line version of your chart and have them hit as many of the high points and low points as possible. So for this one, obviously, was that what the case was for that? No. So when I drew these lines for this particular one, I did it based off of the wicks of candles. So I'm not sure why that one is there. That's interesting. But for this particular moment, I'm just going to keep going to save some time for you guys. So you get the idea. I draw the parallel channel, and then I draw upper and lower support and resistance lines for that particular one. Then I go down to the next one and do the same for weeks. So, wow. So the parallel channel for the week is still technically within the monthly, but it's such a big difference here going in a downtrend that I really do want to add the parallel channel. So I click on the parallel channel, I go to the top of the turn, right? So we see that right here, and actually that's a railroad. So that's a good candlestick sign right there that it was going to go down. So we see that it changed from an uptrend to a downtrend. And so what I do with the parallel channel is I get the one that's the most to the right, and then I connect as many of the wicks as I can, top and bottom. I make sure it's the right color, so I'll come here to settings, change the template to weekly, zoom in a little bit. Oh, that is so loud. Why are you still making noise? Okay, we're gonna close this. All right. Whew. All right, so from here, then I also add in the support and resistance lines. So again, you can do it based off of the wicks, or you can do it based off of the particular points. Last week, I was actually using the points, and it was very successful. So I think I'll keep doing that. So let's see. So right here, we see that, let me do this. We see that there's kind of a parallel line here. Oh, the week's already there. Looks like I already did it. Cool. I just need to make that darker. So that's why that line is there. That means that there's multiple points that they were at the average of the same time, or same, not cost, value. And then down here, oh, that's a 4-hour, so that wouldn't be there. I think you get the point. So I go through, and I'm just going to keep doing it so that I can save time. So there's the parallel channel. This one looks like it's weeks. Oh, no, I don't want Heikin-Ashi. We'll just say this one's weak, so we'll change that back to here. Is it locked? Yep, it's locked. And then I usually I follow something that one of my mentors, Lee Allen, has taught, and I do above and below. And actually, that one needs to come down a little more. To lock there. And then another one could be here for the weekly, because there's so many points that are along that line. So once I do at least one above and one bottom, depending on how close the side is. So as you can see here, the range between these two is 1.32, so it looks like to be about 200 something pips. So that's actually a really big range. So that's why I'm not going to do more than just one up and one down, because the more lines you have on your chart, the more confusing it might be for you. So I come back to my candles. I come down one lower time frame, so now we're in the daily. This prior daily that I had was correct, but I don't need it anymore, so it's just because it's just going to clutter up my chart, so I'm going to delete it. We see that the daily has actually come out and come back in, so it did a false break through this channel and came right back in, and actually went pretty steep right there, as you can see. So the daily currently is in a downtrend. It's hard to say what it might be coming up or down, so I'm actually going to leave it as is without any daily parallel channels right now. And I'm going to make this a little bit bigger, move that over, and then now I'm going to add in the daily support and resistance lines. So move back to my lines, and I see that they are hovering around this weekly still. I could probably put in a daily. Let's see, probably about here. The reason why I chose this particular spot is even though the points don't touch exactly on the line, they're close enough that they kind of form around that area, which would be exactly what a support resistance area is. It's having a problem breaking through, right? It might go up a little bit or below, depending on what it is, but it is having a problem sticking there. So that's a good place for that one. And I want to make sure it's on the correct template, so we're going to change it to daily. And we're going to lock it because we don't want it to move anywhere. So I have one above the current price of daily. Let's see if we have one below. It could be one of these two. But you want to try and see if there's some really good place in the past where it's been prior support and resistance, because that means it's a very strong support and resistance line. So let's see. This could be one. This could really be one. That could be one. This one's most likely the best choice because again, it has a kind of a horizontal place right here, right? So see how that's kind of parallel right there or horizontal right there? So we're going to leave that one there and say that's our lower daily. So lock that into place, reset, zoom back in, change to candles. And as you can see, these candles are staying in between these lines, right? These are support and resistance levels. So it's really, once you make these, you're able to see how they're going in between the different levels of price here. So now I go down to the lower one, 4 hour. Ooh, even better. Look at that. That is beautiful. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. And this, I'm going to start my channel here. And the reason I'm starting it here, I'll show you here in just a second. Put that on lock, move it to the 4 hour template. All right, so the reason why I chose this candle right there as the start of this parallel channel is because if I had chosen this one, it would be way out here, or it would not quite work with trying to stay in a wick, so it would cut through candles. And so, you know, other people might have it start actually, you know, up here, oops, might have it start on this candle or this candle because it's right after the change in price action because it was going from an uptrend to a downtrend. But again, I like to be as precise as possible. And if you have your particular trend going more horizontal than anything else, it might be what's the word? Let's just say not quite correct. So that's why I chose that particular candle to go there. And as you can see, if we zoom out, this is actually currently in kind of a big sideways trend. Let me show you. So put the box on. I'm going to start from here and go up, lock it, and make it a 4 hour. So 4 hour, I want it to show up there and later. Oh, I don't have it set to our template yet. Okay, we can totally fix this right now. Maybe. Okay. So as you can see, in this section, it's going in a sideways trend, right? Whereas before in the daily, here I'll even put it on the daily so you can see visibility day. On the daily, it actually looks, well, it looks like it's still sideways trending. But up until, are you kidding? All right. I must have something that's really not liking my Chrome today. Sorry about that. Restore. Hey, Kadeem, thanks for joining. I'm bringing up my chart because my Chrome just crashed. Come on. Yay, technical difficulties. Thank you all for staying on track with me here. All right. I hope that's saved before, or else I have to redo this. USDCAD. All right. It didn't save. That's okay. Saved up to the 4 hour point, so that's all right. So like I said before, I put on the box, and that shows me that I'm currently in consolidation amongst this time frame. So I'm saving it now. So from, let's see. So within the last 20 days, we're currently in a sideways trend, right, overall. Now, yes, right now from here, we are in a major downtrend, and I expect it just from this view alone to break through because this is really, really powerful. However, if you look down here, there's some news that's coming out, so you might want to wait on it unless you are a fundamentals trader and you are watching all that stuff, which I don't. Some people may say, oh, why aren't you doing that? But I'm a technical trader, and I actually believe the mentors that I'm following and they're technical traders. So There is no right or wrong way to do it unless you're not learning from your mistakes. So let's just go ahead and keep going, and we'll address the rest later. So like I said, we are currently in a major downtrend on the 4-hour space. I showed you the parallel channel. Let's go ahead and turn on the line again to see where we're at. So right now we see this is meant to be 30 minutes. So no, that's 15 minute actually. And the reason why I'm changing the visibility on these is because of the color on there, which means to me that they are not supposed to be there. All right, so we have, I don't know what just went into my ears. So we have our weekly, we have our daily, right? So now we have our 4-hour. So here's one that could be 4-hour, again, sideways trend. So lock that in, put on my 4-hour template. So that's one above. It's a little high, so this one could be one as well. It's pretty close. Let's see, would it be here or here? Or would it be better down here? I'm not going to add that one. Let's go ahead and look a little bit further out for a lower. Okay. So price is currently, where is the price line? Oh, can y'all not hear me anymore? Okay, part 2. Trying to make sure you can hear me because my OBS apparently lost connection to Facebook. It says I'm live. Can I hear myself? Yep, cool, awesome. All right, so let's try that again. Hey Arjun, thanks for joining me again. I'm not quite sure where I left off, so if you could let me know, I'd appreciate that. So the last thing that I was saying, hey Scott, thank you so much for joining. Perfect. So I don't quite know where I was at. The last thing I know for a fact that was on was I was saying that we were in a sideways trend for the 4-hour. I was adding in the 4-hour support and resistance lines just as I was doing before with the daily, weekly, and monthly. Hey Gina, thanks so much for joining. So I went over, the current line is at 132047. So like I said, I zoom out to see any more support and resistance lines. So you can tell that this, what the current price is at by this moving line right here. So if I go back in time, because right now there's not really a lot down below over here. So I come over here, zoom in a little bit. Did the time really just go away again? There it is. All right, so looking at that, I see that on the 4-hour, yes, there is a good option for a line here, but we already have the daily. So we're going to ignore that. And we're going to just kind of peruse to see how many lines, how many points we can get on a single line. So currently the price is here. There's not a whole lot going on up here that's not super close to the daily, so we're going to look a little bit further down. You could add it here, but it's just too much on the chart for me. All right, so this one hit a lot. This one hits a few, so that could be one. So I'm going to actually choose that one and lock it in, make sure it's on your 4-hour. And I'm going to leave it at that. Maybe not. Actually, I'm going to look for one more because that's really close to the current line price. So that one's good. Even though there's not a lot of points, you can see right here that it kind of goes between it a lot, right? So I think that's a good place. So I'm going to lock it in and I'm going to go back, reset my chart, change it back to candles to make sure everything's hunky-dory. Cool. So if I were to get in it right now, which I probably wouldn't because for one, it's about to be news, and for two, it's at the bottom of the parallel channel. But as you can see, it could keep going, most likely hit here, but most likely come back up and then come back down again to hit here. Now, I'm not predicting anything because you can't predict the markets. I'm just saying based off of patterns and what I'm seeing right now based off of the channels, okay? So this is also on the 4-hour chart. So this is a huge time frame and a lot of ranges. So again, I went from monthly to weekly to daily to 4-hour, and now I'm going to go to the 1-hour. On the 1-hour, it definitely looks like it's going to go up, right? So again, right now it's still in a downtrend. I don't see the point in adding a 1-hour parallel channel on here because it's actually, if you look at this, when you use that parallel channel tool, you have an upper and a lower channel. So you can actually use this as well instead of having a whole bunch of parallel channels on your chart. It just depends on your choice in setting up your charts. So because I'm not going to do the channel, I'm going to go ahead and move it to line. There's nothing really that tells me that I should be adding an hour's support and resistance here, so I'm going to scroll over, see what we've got here on the hour. So here's the next section that could have some. This might be one, however, it is above. So you can still add it just so you're aware, but this is why your coloring really matters, because if you don't have if you are on a particular level and don't realize that you're looking at a 1-hour support and resistance and you're on the 15-minute, you might be gypping yourself out of some pretty big pips. So just keep that in mind if you are going to add them close to the current price. Not seeing a whole lot else on the 1-hour. So we'll go back a little bit further. Okay. Yeah, I can see a lot more here. So let's go ahead and look at that. This one might be one. This one's probably one, but we already see the 4-hour there. This one could also be one, but it's so close to the 4-hour, I wouldn't do it. Not really seeing a whole lot here. So sometimes you won't, and that's okay. Oh, here's one. So let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. It's hitting multiple as well as having a horizontal line. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that there. Reset my charts. Go to candle. Zoom in a bit. And as you can see, that 1-hour that I just added is actually where it's starting to kind of create more of a consolidation in here, right? So for those of you that can't see it, right there, right? Let me go ahead and change that to a 1-hour so you can tell the difference here. This is 1-hour, put it on green. So it's starting to do some consolidation. It might break through, it might not. Again, you got to do your own trend analysis here. So we've done 1-hour, and I go all the way down to 15 minutes, right? Look at that, 15 minutes starting to go in an up candle. And at this point, this is where I also start to add in, oh no, this is still 30-minute, my bad. So again, you follow the same process. It's still in a downward trend. Since it is getting into the smaller actions and we do see more price movement here, this is about to be where I would add in my channels. So we'll say, let's see. From top of here to bottom here. Put that on the 30-minute. We're going to get rid of this box. Actually, I'm going to keep that box. The reason for that is because, as you can see on the 30-minute, it's actually nearing the edge of its parallel channel. So one of two things is going to happen. If it were to keep going on a buy and break through this channel, you still have this box that it could potentially go up into. So you have a potential take profit here, right? Because you're still in this 4-hour channel. If it doesn't break through the particular channel here, because that is a support and resistance zone, look how close it is to this box. Once it breaks that box, it has all of this way to fall, right? You've got your 4-hour support resistance. You've got your 1-hour support and resistance, right? So you have a lot more opportunity here for it to be a sell than a buy. So this is where you're going to want to really start utilizing some of your knowledge a little bit on the smaller time frames and add some alerts, because right now, again, we're only a few hours out from this particular news here, but there's a lot that can happen right now. So we've added a 30-minute parallel channel. Let's go ahead and add the support and resistance lines. Hey, Valente, thanks for joining. So this is likely a 30-minute. Yep, that one's one. So lock that in, turn on 30-minute, zoom out. Ooh, all right then. Let's zoom in here. Ooh. All right. So what I'm seeing here, several options. This one looks like it might be the best one. Yeah. So this one is another 30-minute because we have a point here, a point here, and you want to get as many points as possible when you're doing support and resistance on this particular one. So again, I added my top and bottom of that support and resistance. I'm going to come back, put it on candles. And now that I'm on 30, I'm going to go to 15. Now, 15 minutes are my particular sweet spot. 15 minutes are usually used for, what's the word? Scalpers, but I actually have found that this is a really good one for intraday as well. But it doesn't normally go that far for intraday. It usually goes, I think my max one I've seen so far is only a few hours when I use this particular strategy. Price action in Asian session is usually the opposite of the real move when we're talking about a pair that moves in London or New York. So Arjun, thank you for your insight. I have not been learning about the sessions specifically. I know that would make me a better trader, but I'm not quite there yet. If you have any additional information on that, like maybe a training that you've provided, would love to watch that and add that to my particular toolbox. So if you have that, I would love to see it. All right, so 15 minutes. As you can see, it's kind of the same thing as it was with the 30-minute, right? The box is still happening. It actually looks like it's about to break through that box right here, right? Although that current candle is currently a buy, if we double click on this, the MACD looks like it's about to cross. If we zoom in a little bit, ooh, maybe not. So we see that the MACD is currently showing it's still a buy. This particular MTFA fast is showing that it's still a sell, like it's a strong indication that's going to be a sell. So right now, again, I would not make a decision on this because there's not really anything that is concrete enough for me to say get in or get out. But this is definitely one that you would want to keep an eye on, because that call that was made earlier was a buy on USDCAD on the 5-minute. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to add any parallel channels here. I am going to see if I can find any 5-minute. Actually, no, because that's pretty small window there. So I'm not going to add any more support and resistance lines. And the reason for that is because if you look at these right here, we can see that the 4-hour, the next support resistance that I have is the 4-hour, which is 1.31971, and then 1.31912. So that's not a whole lot of pips between them. That's only about 6 pips. So any more, and it's going to trick your brain. So that's something else you want to keep in mind when you're doing something like this. So the call was on the 5-minute. So let's go ahead and look at the 5-minute. 5-minute said it was a buy. So right now it's ranging. This one won't help much. So let's look at the MACD. MACD shows that it's in a buy, right? The line has crossed, And it's, again, getting closer and closer to that particular parallel channel that I did. So again, right now, I wouldn't get in on this. There's too much going on right now that it's going to convalesce into a really big PowerPoint. So it's either going to break through and shoot up, or it's going to keep with the trend and go low in the channel that it's in from the 13 minutes. So this is one of the ways that I've been using this particular week to make the trades that I have. Again, I did make some trades that were bad trades, quote unquote, but most of the trades were actually good trades. And the reason why some of them were bad trades, quote unquote, is because I actually let emotion get into them. So one trade I got out early and actually would have been in profit at the start of today, but I got out because I didn't want to be in over the weekend, because what happens is when the markets close on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, they can have a huge gap when they open again on Sunday, and that gap can hit your stop loss. It might hit your take profit, but sometimes they can hit your stop loss and keep going, because there's something, Arjun, help me out here if you remember this term, but I think it's called, I can't remember, but basically what happens is it's the price action moves so fast that it can overtake your take profit or stop loss. So sometimes when you're in a trade and it goes past your stop loss too fast, you could like bleed out money, right? So that's one of the reasons why you want to put your alerts on. Make sure that if it does hit that you're alerted before it gets too far too fast, right? Or your take profit. You know, if it gets past your take profit and keeps going up and up and up, which this happened to one of my trades last week, you want to make sure that you what's it called? Snag the bag. You want to move your stop loss up or close out your trade, which is what I did because I was expecting it to go down and it did. But these are all things that you learn as a trader. And if you're not learning these things, you need to either find a mentor or utilize the system that I do, because it has hours upon hours upon hours of training to get you from a complete newbie to being able to create your own money basically whenever you want, 24/7, or excuse me, 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Now again, past results are not typical. They do not guarantee nor dictate your future results. It is all based off of your level of risk, your education, and several other factors, right? I'm simply sharing with you what I've been doing to learn this skill set, because it is the only skill set I have ever found that allows you to create income without having to be a salesperson. And it's amazing. Not only that, but the people that I'm around, they just have a different mindset about money, and they are so excited to help people and see everyone thrive. So if you liked what you saw today, if you were a little confused about it but wanted to learn more information, please reach out, leave a comment below. You know, do whatever it is just so you at least find out what it is that's going on, because this is something that was not available to you and me as of about 20 years ago. Okay, this used to be something that only super rich people could deal with. People who had like $1 million just to drop chump change. Okay, so if it's something that you want to find out more about, reach out to me. I would love to share it with you. Otherwise, I'm going to hop off because, like I said earlier, I'm still recuperating from being sick and I need my rest. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Cassandra, aka the Daily Wealth Ninja. Hope you have a wonderful and prosperous rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Yes, gaps can override. Stops or take profit. Perfect. Thank you, Arjun. Have a great day, guys. Bye.